My name is Victor Otieno. I'm the Managing Director at FIFA Consult, which is a think tank based here in Nairobi, Kenya, focused on research that supports policies, that supports the growth of MSMEs as well as startups in Kenya and the region. I think generally in Kenya we have a huge challenge with data. It's not just within the startup ecosystem. If you look, for instance, data around MSMEs, the last national data that was taken is 2016, which is the KNBS MSME report. So of course this gives an indication or a dipstick of sorts in terms of the general lack of data for micro, small, medium enterprises as well as startups. So of course this has the impact of not making decisions both for policy as well as for other entrepreneur support organizations, in the sense that you're not able to really make informed decisions because of the data that we have is outdated. We want as a country to be able to grow the economy. We want to be able to create jobs. That's where we start. And the second layer to that, to this train of thought, is that innovation happens at a local level. At a local level means ward level, constituency level, or even a county level. So, and if you look at triple helix, which is the model where different stakeholders interact to be able to support entrepreneurs, is we have a number of players. So a lot of assumption is that the biggest players or the people who take the most light usually is government from a triple helix perspective, private sector, CSOs, as well as the big BMOs, etc. Religious organizations, we have community-based organizations and other smaller entities that interact with entrepreneurs. So I think for us to be able to get a full picture in terms of the entrepreneurship ecosystem within the communities, then it means we need to be able to open up the people who interact with entrepreneurs and of course engage them through data collection, either in terms of qualitative data as well as quantitative data, so that then we have a very good picture of what is actually happening mashinani. I think we need to be very systematic when we collect data, because ultimately we want to be able to inform policy and we want to be able to inform resource allocation, because that's how policy works in Kenya. You have to have a finance bill that is based on in terms of collection revenue, but we have an appropriations bill which is saying and if you got to go back, we have a budget policy statement. So if you look at a budget policy statement within each ministry, they say these are the programs that we want to be able to implement within a certain financial year. And of course that has to be informed by data of some sorts, data of some sorts, or in one way or another. So it means that each sector or each sector within, or each ministry is able to collect data to prove their point or to give a case as to why they need more allocation. So it means that for you to do that, you have to be very systematic and centralized so that you can be able to give a good case. Collaboration has to be top-down to some degree. Of course, it has to be bottom-up, but as well as top-down, in the sense that we need leadership from government from a policy perspective. So for what private sector and different people outside of government, they look to government for leadership. So this leadership comes either in terms of a policy paper, which gives direction generally in terms of a certain sector, whether it is MSMEs or whether it is startups. So usually when you have a policy paper that says this is what we want to achieve as a government in terms of supporting entrepreneurs, and they're able to give priorities, and of course under this they can be able to give areas that they think are extremely important. So it is around these issues that the stakeholders now are able to collaborate on, especially if they see value on the proposed strategy. So I think that's number one. Number two is also, I think as an ecosystem there has to be a private sector or outside of government conversations, so that we agree on what I call an attractor state or an ideal state, so that we stop competing unnecessarily and ask ourselves as an ecosystem, what would be the ideal look like? In the sense that the more we're able to come together as an ecosystem, the more that we're able to create value for the ecosystem, and of course everyone is going to get some dividend. The best example I have is Estonia. I mean, Estonia has been able to digitize almost 100% of government processes and even interaction with the ecosystem. And they've been able to create, I think, what they're calling an X-roads, where data is in a centralized spot. And of course, different agencies, government agencies, are able to access that data. And of course, this is backed with a very robust regulatory environment that ensures that there's very little malpractice around the same. For Kenya, we just need to be able to focus and build the fundamentals first, in terms of, number one, accepting or recognizing that the startup, for example, ecosystem is extremely important. Then, of course, being able to start collecting data in a systematic manner. The shift has to move from a national discourse to a county discourse. So at now we start talking, having town halls within counties, within different wards, so for them to be able to articulate the challenges that they have. You go to Kisumu, the challenge maybe is a lack of fishing equipment. If you go to Mwea, there is rice husks that are there. If you go to coast, maybe the issue is around under-exploitation of the blue economy. Those are the real challenges they face. Then the question is, how then does technology support you to solve the challenge that you have? That's the only approach that we can be able to take for everyone to be able to appreciate that, there's someone with a solution to my problem. Other than just using buzzwords, I think, of blockchain and AI, and I think that's something that we're extremely good at.